Good morning, turd eaters. How y'all doing? So, today is going to be another day of hard labor. First, we're going to start out at John's house right here. This is his garage. Yeah, in his backyard. Yeah, but we're going to do some plumbing. And I'm going to show you just how it's done. Even though I've never seen his plumbing, I don't have a clue. He says it's galvanized, and that's usually a bad sign. So we'll see. We'll see what we get into. Maybe it won't be too bad. If it's like every other job we do, it's something terrible is going to go wrong. We're going to make 40 trips to Lowe's, which is 22 miles away. You know how it is. So just hang in there, and as soon as I finish up here, I'm gonna go in there and see what kind of troubles we can get into. Oh. So are we working on this today?
No, I'm just showing you that they leak.
These leak?
Yeah.
Now what'd you say them were? Gator?
That's them gator things.
Shark bite.
Shark bite, yeah. You're supposed to slide them together and they lock.
Yeah. Well, that's not exactly what I was talking about when I said shark bite, but I don't know, maybe that's what some people just love them, some people just hate them. Maybe there's two different kinds. Yeah. So here we're going around. I guess this is what we're working on. Oh boy, that's old. That's older than the hills. He can't find what do you call that? A handle, whatever you call it, a wheel that fits on that because it's so old. So here, what we're going to do is first, somebody's inside taking a shower. So we're just going to try to prep a little bit. John's going to take the hose off here. Yeah, we're going to put a new hose bib on and put a new shutoff on the inside. That way, in the wintertime, you shut the water off out inside and open that one, and that lets your water drain. Yeah. And also, if there's water in the pipe and it freezes, it can expand without busting the pipe.
Looks like a beautiful lawn.
Now, John wants to show you his yard. He did plant grass seed, and he put just the right amount of straw in. Oh, that's landscaping there.
I hope he's going to pick that
That's
up.
a rock garden. That's a miniature rock garden. That's landscaping.
He put them rocks there.
Oh, yeah. You're really coming a long way here. Our neighbors are going to be jealous. I think John already did it. But that valve there coming in the wall, you got to shut that off. That's a meter. Yep. When you shut that valve off, that shuts all the water in your house off. Now John's up here taking panels out, busting panels out. And you can see there, that's where pipe goes outside. Looks like an old valve there. We're going to have to replace that. That's the drain valve, or the, shut off for the wintertime valve. I would probably take his nipple off, is probably what I'd do.
That's what you do.
Yeah, I probably would, because look how that's all rusted up in there. Yeah.
Well, we take this one pipe going outside off first.
Okay, well, you only need one pipe wrench, because the other one turns, it don't matter on that.
Yeah.
All right, see, that's what we're doing. We'll fill you in. Alrighty, folks, we were up here torquing around and barely touched it. Got the wrench. We were just putting our wrenches on, and this is what happens when you got galvanized piping. You see that? There's a leak, and it's before that valve. So that means you gotta call the water department. It's a Saturday. This could be tough. Hey there's John ahead of me. We ran to the clubhouse. We went to a place to rent a trencher, and they're closed. So we're going to try hand digging it, see if we can do it. We don't know how hard John's ground is. At the clubhouse, it's possible to dig. You could dig 10 feet down if you wanted to. But in town here, the ground is not as sandy, not as soft. So we're going to give it a shot and see how we can do. If we have too much trouble digging, it's about probably 20, 30 foot of digging. If there's too much trouble, we'll just go ahead and I'll just rent a trencher from somewhere. I'm sure somebody's open. But that's what we're doing. We had to go to the clubhouse, get shovels and stuff too. And so we're taking 2 different vehicles. If somebody has to run, there's vehicles there available. Then you always want to call OOPS, or, well, we call it OOPS because Ohio Utilities Protection, but 811. You call 811 before you dig. Even if you know where all the utilities are, like we do. We know exactly where the utilities are underground at John's house. But for legality purposes, you want to always call 811. They say even if you take a spoon and dig a hole in your yard, you want to call 811 first. 811 will ask you what state you're in. They'll hook you up with the right state. You want to know the address and about where you're going to be digging and how far off of the road. And you want to know the nearest cross street to that road and how far you are from it before you call 811. That's pretty much it. They'll want your name and phone number so they can contact you in case there's any problems. And they'll give you a ticket number. You always want to write the ticket number down, because if something would happen, maybe the telephone company put a line in when you were on vacation and you didn't know it, and you chop a telephone line in half, they will charge you by the minute for it. And I have actually known a guy at one time that hit a telephone line that cost him over $1 million a minute. You want to have that number, that ticket number, because when you go to court, that is your proof that you did call the protection service, and it's not your fault. So you don't have to pay that $1 million a minute. If they didn't mark it, it's their fault. So anyway, there's a lot of legalities that go along with it, but never forget to call 811. We're gaining quickly on midday, and we've had to hand dig this trench with shovels. We've made it 2 shovels wide so we could get down in it and keep shoveling. And it was clear that here's where I'm standing, and I haven't got the valve. We had it uncovered. That was the what's called the curb stop, and that's where the water company's side takes over. So yeah, John wants to go really deep, so it's gonna be a while. We'll show you once we get some more done here. Okay, so it's 5.5 feet. We measured 5.5 feet to the deep to the valve over there, and it's about 4 feet deep over here to the hole in the house. So we kind of, made an incline and ran our PEX line in here, which is a CTS 3/4 inch copper tube size. Had to cut the old stuff off. If you look, you can see it down in there, the old piece of pipe. Cut it off. Had to bore the hole out a little bigger, and then run the pipe through. John's on the inside getting ready to hook everything up. Oh, on the end, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bottled water bottle on the end of the pipe. That's just keeping dirt out of it.
Wire hanging here, I see it is unhooked.
Oh.
So that's nice.
So John's putting this back together. He's using Teflon tape. I usually use the Teflon goop, but
John thinks he's better.
yeah, John's a Teflon tape guy. Some guys is goop guys, sometimes is tape guys. Yeah. So anyways, this is pretty simple. John took the whole thing apart. I'm going to point with my bottle here. Right there at this nipple. If you can see it, I don't know, that nipple. And he took that whole assembly and just told him in the hardware shop, make me this thing. Exactly the same. And so they gave him all the pieces and parts, and he's putting it together in here. Except for one nipple, which we did have to really manhandle to get it off
That's
the
what
wheel
I do.
for
I loosened it instead of tightening it, didn't I?
you. Yeah.
Probably. I'm so stupid.
Okay, so then what we're gonna do is leave the meter together down here because Newcomers Town apparently don't want you messing with that. Some places let you, Newcomers Town doesn't. You can see the blue pipe coming in. We'll just probably either cut it off or leave it, and they're gonna have to come in. No, we're gonna put the valve on it, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll put the valve on it, and then I suppose we'll just leave it for them to hook into the meter then, and that. And the same with the outside. We just ran it to the curb stop, or the valve out there, and
But I did it. I did it again.
yeah, you did it again.
Oh,
And we just run it out there to the valve out there, and the town will hook it all up for us. That's how they do it here. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Pretty simple. All right. Hey everyone, how y'all doing out there? So John and I don't know if you can see him. He's over there. I think we put 9.5 or 10 hours in today. I think it's about 9:30 now. Is that right?
9:12.
9:12. We come over to the clubhouse because Newcomers Town's not going to hook his water up until Monday. So we came over to the clubhouse. John and I got cleaned up, and now we're cooking burgers on the grill. Looks like we're flame broiling them, John.
Yeah.
We're just going to relax here, have a meal tomorrow. I didn't show you the finished part of that job, but what I did, because I wasn't real sure about telling people to use a shark bite. Just not 100% sure on shark bite fittings. And I put a shark bite shut off valve on the line there, and I'm thinking when we go to Lowe's tomorrow, because we need a 90, I'm thinking maybe I'll just say, well, I'll eat that one, John. We'll get a compression fitting put on that. And that way you know it's not going to leak or come off. And I don't know. Some people swear by those shark bites. Other people say they're junk. I haven't used them enough to really decide yet. So anyways, that's where we're at. Maybe I'll update you a little more tomorrow. We're back down here in John's garage. Basement. Now see, yesterday I put this shark bite on. I didn't say anything about how to do it because I just don't know if I should trust it. Well, look at this. This is on all the way. And they just turn and everything else. You know, if this were on a line anywhere besides where it first comes into the house and right before the meter and everything, I'd say let's try it. Let's just try it and see how it works. The problem is, in this position where this is at, when the water department turns the water on, and if this leaks, you're going to have to call the water department back up and say, oh my God, I got a problem. Turn the water back off. And it's a big hassle. So, or if it doesn't leak, and it leaks the next weekend, you may have trouble finding somebody from the water department to come in and fix it for you, to shut it off for you, So, I decided let's go ahead and replace this with something that we think we can depend on. How about that?
We hope.
So, first things first, here, take this. You want to cut this, and if you don't have the regular cutting tool, one of these, what do you call these knives?
Razor knife.
Like a razor knife?
Yeah, box opener or whatever.
Okay. I'm not gonna leave much on this, but I'll leave a little because John might decide to do something with it. All you have to do with a knife like this is rock it like this. And it takes a little patience, but you'll get a good cut. Push down and rock. Don't put your thumb or your finger through there in case that blade would break or slip through. Or it does take patience. See that? They got a perfect cut. There's no burrs on it. Nothing. That's perfect. There's your shark bite if you wanted to. I mean, that'd be pretty close. Put something on that. I don't know, but I figure we're throwing that away, probably. Probably leaving it down here is what we're really doing. Okay, so what we did instead was bought, and this is shark bite too, because we could not find, these should be barbs in their shark bite, whatever that means. We could not find the proper thing that we wanted. So we're going to try to make this work, and I think it will work because it's fairly close to being like a barb. Anyway, you always want to check because some valves, for some reason, they're only supposed to go on one way or the other. Another thing is always good to do is move them a few times before you install them. Now, in order to use these, you're supposed to buy a tool that costs $60. Actually, it's over $60.
69 something, huh?
Okay, a $70 tool to put that on. Is that crazy?
That's nuts.
So what it is they have a little ring that goes on the tubing. You shove this in, and the $70 tool clamps it down tight. Crimps it.
Yeah.
So instead, if this is the first time you've ever done this, you will need to buy a tool. But instead, these are called hose clamps, and they're cheap. What do they cost, John?
$1.50 something a tube for two.
And this is an expensive tool as far as this kind of tool goes. But this is a nut driver. It's 5/16, which is what should fit this. Yep, perfectly. And that's the tool you need. Now, what is that? $7 or $8, I think.
Yeah.
To buy that tool. So you can spend 70 or you can spend 7. It's up to you. Or you can go ask your dad if he's got a 5/16 nut driver and not spend anything, because most people do have one. So you put this on here. I always think about which way I'd like to hold the tool when I put it on. You stick this in that hole like that, and you put this near the edge but not on it. And just turn it. And you want to tighten it. Probably, depending on how strong you are, not as tight as you can. But if you're like me, a little bit of a weakling, you go ahead and make it just tight as you can. Now, I don't know, this is sideways. Would you rather this up and down, John?
That's fine.
Okay, because this way, that's off, and that's on.
That's good.
Okay. So the next thing we want, put another piece on here. Let's do it one more time for you so you can see it. Get your hose clamp out. Put it on there. Think about which way you want to hold that. See? You just slide that down there. This is in my way, so we'll close it. And tighten her down. If you go too tight, this will break. But if, like I said, if you're a weakling like me, you can tighten it all you want. Okay, so we want to keep the meter in about the same place, so we're going to have to put another fitting on it. I'd like to get video of them turning the water on while you check if there's leaks or not, but me and John will both be at work when they come to do this. Okay, same thing. Put this on. Look, put this on your pipe first. Slide this in. Tighten her down. I suppose if you want to do a better job than what I'm doing, you could make that shorter. It's going to come out to about there. Should be okay. I don't think that John doesn't use his basement for anything but utilities, right?
Yeah, and water.
And see, that's not turning or nothing. That's good and tight. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to put another piece of this going this way for the water department. Put their ends on and hook that up. Yep. It's that easy, folks. It's a quick complaining and whining. Now see, if you're holding it, you drag it back and forth and rock it. But see, you don't put your thumb right over that, because if for some odd reason you'd hit a bad piece of plastic, which I've never seen before, but you know, a soft piece of plastic, and that would slip through there, well, it'd get you. So try to keep your thumb off to the side. It is the proper tool.
Yeah, you can get one for probably about $15.
What, the proper tool?
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Just like that. Alright. Alright, close this thing. Yours closes different than mine. That's John's. Here, I'll put it in my pocket, and that way I'll have it when I want it. Okay.
Surely they wouldn't go clear to the end. Surely they'll know what to do.
I would hope they know what to do.
But we've made a lot of Newcomers Town Fails Again videos, so
Be another one.
yeah, if they leave that whole thing on there and push everything over to go on it, that'd be another one. Hopefully they're smart enough to know how to do a job right.
I wanted to use compression fittings, but apparently the compression fittings are something that,
Thing of the past.
well, we still buy them at the water plant,
Yeah.
but they don't sell them at Lowe's. Places like that, they sell shark bite. Everything's shark bite these days.
Somebody making money.
There it is. So now we have to wait for the water department, you know, to hook up this part. See, they have these little wires with that thing on it. You ain't allowed to mess with that. So that's how that's done. Hope we helped somebody out there.